Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, August 10th, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. The opinion of Israel Bruce, Vice President of the SVG Human Rights Association, is that the Cybercrime 2016 bill in its present form contains several harmful provisions and it must therefore not be allowed to pass. Bruce made these comments on Nice Radio's Current Affairs program early this week, adding that while the bill has excellent provisions, it does have damaging ones, and it should not be passed in its current state.
And I want to say from the very get-go, and I am not the prophet on this, other persons would have expressed similar view, and I know that Sister K-Backers would have said it very clearly too, that there are aspects of the bill, the Cybercrime Bill 2016, that are important for the forward movement of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and for the jurisprudential growth and development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So let us not run away from that. But I have said in the past, and I will continue to say, this cybercrime bill to me is akin to the constitutional reform bill, which had a number of exciting provisions in it, but also had a number of dangerous and damaging provisions. Even if you have a bill that has a few provisions inside it that are very good, that are exceptional, the fact that such a bill will carry inside and with those exceptional provisions that are damaging to the people, then it must go.
Bruce also made the illustration of soup, which in itself has many wholesome ingredients, but contains a single ingredient that makes it unacceptable to the palate.
And I then equate that to a pot of callaloo soup. That pot of callaloo soup has in callaloo. We all know callaloo is good for us. It has in carrots. We all know carrots good for us. It has in the string beans and so forth. All good for us. But if you invite people to the table to have that callaloo soup, and the meat inside of that callaloo soup is beef, you're likely to have the Adventist, the Baptist, the Catholic, the Anglican, the Powys, everybody would have a bowl of soup. But the minute you change that meat and put pork in the space of the beef, the Adventists will say they don't want it because it's not good. One ingredient in it, the pork, they will say they don't want it. And I make that point to say, either you amend those provisions to satisfy the hue and cry of the people, or the bill in and of itself should not be allowed to pass.
The Human Rights Association executive added that the impact of the bill would be felt by all Vincentians, regardless of political preference.
Not how it is going to impact on the lives of those people who support the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Green Party. Not how it is going to impact on the lives of the people who only support the New Democratic Party or the Democratic Republican Party or the Unity Labour Party. It is how it is going to impact, how that bill is going to impact on the lives of Vincentians by and large. And until all of us have come to the point of acceptance and realization that that is what is important, what we are going to do, we're going to start supporting the bill because the political party that drives the putting the bill into being is the Unity Labour Party. So you'll find that supporters of the Unity Labour Party would seek to say, oh, nothing wrong with the bill, let's go forward with it. And then you're going to find those who do not support the Unity Labour Party would say, oh, everything is wrong with that bill and let's get rid of it. That is not the approach that we are supposed to take.
In an exclusive interview with SVG-TV, Deputy Leader of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Green Party, Cadmiel McPhee, gave his party's response on the cybercrime bill. McPhee noted that Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves' motive for passing the bill is to silence the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines by taking away their freedom of speech and liberty.
He ran for a referendum, which he was unsuccessful at. He then went against the integrity legislation. He also has not proclaimed the Freedom of Information Act to become law. And now we are now seeing the cyber bill. Now if you look at clause 16 of the cyber bill, it's a direct infringement on our God-given right to freedom of speech. So again, what is the motive of the cyber bill of Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves? He also wants to take away your God-given right to freedom of speech. And in our current economical climate here, a cyber bill is of very low importance. It is the economy that is of vital importance now. Truly, the Prime Minister should be spending his time on the nation's economy rather than spending the time on protecting or defending his dirty character.
He also added that these are not times for politicians to be jumping from post to post in our current political and economic climate, but to be truthful and inform the Vincentian public in the right way. Lawyer K. Bacchus Batiste contends that there is no viable reason for the eviction of well-known proprietor Anne Joshua from the Cobblestone Inn. Bacchus Batiste, the lawyer representing the local businesswoman, stated on a recent local radio program that her client began operating the hotel since 1986 when she was given a 10-year lease from the government, and the Cobblestone Inn proprietor, who has kept up to date with her rent payments, has done nothing to warrant a notice to cease her operations. The lawyer said she continues to be baffled as questions still arise on the decision taken by the government and the National Properties Limited, the NPL.
Why would you put a business that is established, that is an icon, which even Dr. Gonzalez admit is a fairly well-run hotel? She operates a well-run hotel. I would say that it is that it is a first-class business hotel in St. Vincent and the Grenadines context. Why would you put somebody like that out of the business to allow novices or persons who are now getting support staff or to come in and run it? What sense does that make? This makes no commercial sense at all. And as I said, if you are going to do that, what is good for Peter is good for Paul. What is good for Anne would be good for Basil. Why did they specifically exclude Basil? Is it that he did not offend? When the lease was done, it was a lease between Miss Joshua and Basil Charles. That is the way in which the lease was granted. And it existed like that for many years.
Bacchus Batiste noted the Cobblestone Inn Hotel has become a household name after being successfully operated by the same person for 30 years, and also announced the commencement of an online petition to help keep the Cobblestone Inn Hotel operating.
For 30 years, she operated the business, employing over about 16 Vincentians. That means 16 families depend on that job. Some of them have been working with her for the entire 30 years, about 6 or 7 of these workers. That shows the type of business that Ms. Joshua run. It's not just a business, it's more than a business. And it represents something cultural and historical in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that there is little wonder that the public has expressed such interest and shown such interest in what has been going on with the Cobblestone Inn. As you mentioned, Bert, a petition was started by a female entrepreneur group which has spread on the internet just about 2 or 3 days, and we have gotten over 1,000 signatures to that and commentaries, yes.
Okay.
And it is ongoing, and it is called Save the Cobblestone Inn.
She explained that persons should not have any reason to fear, as it is their own democratic right to petition, and they are welcome to go to the Cobblestone Inn to register their names and signatures on the petitions. Meanwhile, lawyer K. Bacchus Batiste said that her letter to National Properties Limited, expressing a desire to meet with the authorities to clarify the existing issues, had proven to be futile.
They responded by email today saying they were directed by their lawyer not to meet with us. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? A simple meeting. They were directed by their lawyers or advised not to meet with us.
But I thought it was being said all around.
Since when you can't have a meeting as a tenant with a landlord? What is going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Attempts were made to contact lawyer Graham Ballers on the accusation made by K. Bacchus Batiste, but this was futile. Meanwhile, proprietor of Buzzards Bar and Restaurant remains tight-lipped on the eviction of business counterpart Anne Joshua. While speaking to Charles earlier today, he remained adamant on his unwillingness to speak on the eviction matter, saying it was bad for business and declined our request for a telephone interview. The businessman, however, advised that he has not received an eviction letter from the National Properties Limited. And when asked as to whether he was worried about getting such a letter, He stated that he simply does not dwell on such thoughts. Meantime, Charles disclosed that his business, which is located just downstairs of Joshua's, is on a lease arrangement with the government as opposed to a monthly one. And Joshua, the proprietor of the Cobblestone Inn, was presently with an eviction letter on July 14th by the NPL, ordering her to vacate the premises on or before September 30th, 2016. A delegation from the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, and the OPEC Fund for International Development, the OFID, is in the country to meet with Prime Minister Dr. Ralph E. Gonsalves and other government officials. The delegation arrived in the state yesterday from Antigua and Barbuda on Tuesday, that's August 9th, and is led by Director of Commercial and Government Relations, Minister of State Office Khalid Al-Manea. This afternoon, the delegation visited the Argyle International Airport, where they were taken on a tour of the facility. Minister of Transport and Works, Senator Julian Francis, last night on a radio program, said that the ULP administration will take part in a series of discussions with both delegations over the upcoming days.
Our Emirates, they have a delegation here and would start a series of meetings from tomorrow morning, very early with Prime Minister, then other ministers later in the day, visits to different infrastructure, visits to different projects, and a heap of consultations and discussions over the next 3 days before they leave. We got an approval from the Kuwait Fund for about $14 million US, and that OPEC, the fund, OFID here, that I'm speaking about, would be matching, and we should end up with about between 32 and 34 million US dollars for road repairs of secondary roads and feeder roads. And those discussions are ongoing. The one for Kuwait is already approved, and out of these discussions we are having here, by the end of September, October, we should be having one group, one set of consultants managing and implementing both facilities under one project steering committee and the project manager, etc., etc.
Vincentian chef living in Canada has proven that she can hold her own among the best by taking the top prize in Canada's popular cooking show, Chopped Canada. Chopped Canada is a Canadian and international cooking show that challenges 4 professional chefs to create a 3-course meal using mystery ingredients in a race against the clock. Chlorine Sonia Coffey has claimed the winning position for the show's Season 2 episode. We hear more in this report.
Clarence Sonia Coffey, a Vincentian, has claimed the winner title on the famous cooking show Chopped Canada, Season 2, Episode 23. Having completed her secondary education here in St. Vincent at the Belair Government School and Marco Convent, Clarence moved to Canada and attended the George Brown College, where she pursued cooking. She said that the opportunity just to be on the show was phenomenal, and one of her goals was to put SVG on the map.
Opportunity, I think, came at a time I had already promised myself that if a show came to Canada, I was going to win it. And for me, the opportunity was to get myself out there and be recognized and, put St. Vincent on the map. Because unfortunately, in Canada, it's such a big place. And not a lot of people, when I tell them I'm from St. Vincent, they're like, where's that? And I said I let them know that I wanted to put St. Vincent out there and let us know that there's a beautiful island there. It was phenomenal. It was an amazing experience. It was really a way for me to, test myself and give myself that validity that I wanted, and let other people know in the industry where I stood and get myself grounded. Initially, I did a phone interview, and then I got called in for my in-person interview. And I can't forget when I went in, I was like number 10,874. It was just a surreal experience. As I say, I have a new respect for time, because when you're given a basket of 4 random ingredients and you've never seen them before and you don't know what you're working with, and I'm talking about really, really weird ingredients. And I remember thinking, what am I supposed to do with that? The competition was quite intense. It's a competition that really showcases your skill, really showcases you thinking on your feet, really showcases and sets you on par with, as a chef and where you want to be.
Before the point of her big accomplishment, Clorena had hit rock bottom and was going through a rough time in her life, but despite all that, she was able to find a calm in the storm.
I was going through a point in my life where I had experienced a traumatic event, and I was at a point in my life where I had an epiphany, and I made a promise to my children that I was going to go and I was going to win for them. And I would say to everybody, it starts with a mindset. If there's something that you want, there's no stopping you. Once there's a will, there's a way. And once you start putting positivity into the atmosphere, it's going to ricochet. So it's just a matter of wanting to change, because change begins with you.
Clorena then used her talent to help others and volunteer, teaching what she knows, and plans on doing more for the aspiring and less fortunate.
Chop 55 was an opportunity. It started with a colleague of mine. He wanted to start something for children in the area that he worked at. And in that division, the 55 division, we had 5 schools. And I volunteered my services as a guest judge and a mentor. You know, growing up in the islands and, you know, I see the way the society is stratified. I always like to take time out to help people who are less fortunate than myself, and I do a lot of that in Canada. I would love to eventually, you know, set up something here where I can offer classes.
The talents of some of these countries' disabled will soon be on display in a concert dubbed The Disabled Got Talent. The concert is being organized by the Calder Seventh-day Adventist Church, which has decided to go beyond its November's annual church service and bring to the nation the skills and abilities of those persons who we seem to have forgotten. Elder and Personal Ministries leader Maurice John highlighted the reason behind this diversion.
Activity that we are promoting is dubbed the Disabled Has Talent. And there's a background to this. The Calder Seventh-day Adventist Church, probably over 8 years now, has been working along with the Disabled Society in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Every year, you will know, in St. Vincent, the month of November is Disability Month. That's when we focus on those persons who are challenged in different ways. And so we host a service where we invite members of the disabled community. I hate to use the word disabled. Sometimes I prefer to use the word challenge because, in a sense, all of us are disabled in some form or the other. And so we invite people from the mental health, people from the Louis Burnett home, because in a lot of cases, if you're challenged, sometimes you end up at the Louis Burnett home. The various schools, there's one in Kingston and one in Georgetown School for Children with Special Needs.
Pastor of the Southern District, Brent St. John, noted that the reason for this concert is not just to raise needed funds, but to showcase to St. Vincent and the Grenadines the persons with disabilities are important and worthwhile to their society.
I believe this concert is of utmost importance, and the reason why I believe so is that many people look at folks with different disabilities as being less than. We have come a long way, yes. I mean, we've come a very long way. But I believe still when someone sees someone with a disability, they feel sorry for that individual, or they feel like that person is not at their level, and which is absolutely wrong, because at the end of the day, we are all disabled in some way. And I believe there are some gifts that folks with disabilities have that are just phenomenal. Folks with autism are brilliant. Stephen Hawking, one of the most intelligent persons on the planet.
He also added that there has to be more to church than simply being a spiritual entity, and invited persons to come out and show support, as we can all relate to someone with a disability.
Because I believe if the church cannot cater to the needs of society, then there is no need for a church. If the church is only a spiritual entity where we preach Christ and we do not show the ministry that Christ did while on earth, for those who are less fortunate, for those who didn't have a voice, that's what he came for, and that's what the church should be about, and that's why I'm partnering with them at this time. I just want to invite the whole of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be a part of it. It's going to be a phenomenal concert. We start at 3 p.m. on Sunday, and it's going to be a fantastic event. We're going to see things that we have never seen before. Invite a friend, bring somebody along, support this society. We need your support. Let's fill the place. Let us come out in our numbers. Cancel what you need to cancel. I'm telling you, it's going to be, you're not going to waste that opportunity. It's the best $10 that you will ever spend.
In keeping with the Public Health Department's pilot project to train 40 health volunteers on Bequia to help in the department's mosquito eradication activities on that island, SVG Television caught up with 2 of the participants on Monday who expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to take part and also sought the support of the public.
Well, it's been a great experience so far. I've been learning new stuff. I think it's a very good initiative for the country and Bequia as a whole, being that some of the factors that we learned today, that some of the implications of the mosquito is social, economic and mental, and with Bequia being a major tourism industry, it will be a very major deterrent to tourists coming to this country. From being engaged in this program so far, as a young person, it's a very good initiative to be engaged in the summer. I will be able to learn new things and help my peers and educate other people in the country who are not aware of the implications of this mosquito-borne disease. Okay, we would like to be welcomed with open arms. We want to help you, educate you, and teach you the implications of this mosquito-borne disease.
Extremely important in order to notify the public about the Aedes mosquito, there to help them, assist them in what needs to be done to remove the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes and how to protect themselves from further viruses and diseases. Yes, I take away the knowledge as I've learned today and will be able to spread awareness via mouth of word or telling my friends or family.